Okay, so I'm going to be discussing the plausibility of Clark Kent's glasses disguise. So I'll be honest. When I was younger, I used to think the disguise was silly. I mean, how could you not tell? But when I saw the 1978 Superman, where Clark takes off his glasses while Lois is out of the room, he stops slouching, he grows taller, his voice moves deeper, and that is one of my favorite scenes in that movie. Christopher Reeve did a great job of portraying Clark and Superman, and his hairstyles for each character is different. With Superman, it's slicked back. And Henry Cavill later proved it as well, that these glasses are not stupid, because he went to Times Square in a Superman shirt, stood under the Batman vs. Superman poster, and nobody figured it out. And many Superman actors look different with and without the glasses, including George Reeves. Even though in an episode, I think it's in the first season, an old lady almost points out the similarities, and he's like, oh, but I felt like the writers were taking shots with that. I've also had real life experience myself, because I've had some coworkers who have and have not worn glasses, and when the times they do come in wearing glasses, I have to do a double take. And so apparently in the new Superman movie, I don't think there's a need for Hypno-glasses. Yes, I know they're in the comics, but it feels like the writers are just trying to explain something away. And something that bothers me in the new Superman movie is after Clark and Lois argue, Clark leaves, but he never puts on his glasses. And I never saw them hanging on a shirt or in a pocket, and Lois never says a word about it. And what if somebody was hanging around outside her apartment? And, I mean, they were screaming at each other, so, I mean, I just wish they showed him taking a minute to put on the glasses, or taking them out of his pocket, and in the process of putting them on. And something else that I've wondered about is, how does Clark afford clothes if he's constantly ripping open his shirt? I mean, they make shirts with snap buttons now, but it would be interesting if a movie or a show would have him wearing a snap button shirt. That way buttons don't go flying, and he won't have to buy more shirts. He doesn't do a shirt rip in this movie because, according to Gunn, he has the suit in his briefcase. That doesn't make much sense to me, because what if somebody looked in his briefcase? In some iterations, somebody is constantly trying to figure out who Superman really is, which is something I've always found to be odd. An odd addition to the story, because unlike Batman, where it's obvious it's just a guy in a bat suit, Superman is obviously an alien with laser eyes. So, overall, whether the Hypno-glasses are in the comics or not, it just feels like they're trying to explain something away that doesn't need to be explained away or simplified that much. So what are your thoughts on Clark's glasses disguise and his clothing options? Let me know in the comments, like this video, share, and subscribe.